Hi, I'm Stuart and welcome to SIRENNET Television. Now, it is Monday and normally on Mondays we take something apart. Well, today we're not going to do that. Our whole objective is to mess with you. So instead of taking something apart, we're going to show you how to put something together. And the model in question that we're going to be taking a look at is the MC16 mount kits, and Chris is the man in Studio 2. Take it away, Chris.
Thank you, Stuart. I have here Whelen's MC16MA, or better known as the 16-inch amber mini Century Lightbar. I'm going to show you how the magnet kit affixes to the bottom aluminum extrusion here, and then also another mounting option that's available for folks that are looking to do an upgrade to either a new bar or the bar that you may currently have. So on the bottom here, we have a one-piece aluminum extrusion, and it has slips on the left and the right side here. The slips or grooves are going to help contain the magnetic mount kit that's included. So go ahead, rip the bag open here, get to the good parts. So the kit itself is this pair, two 90-pound magnets each with an aluminum bracket. You can see the magnets themselves are bolted on. And on the bracket itself, you'll notice that there's a slight angle here and a slight angle here. Those angles are going to be important for when you put the bottom mount into the base here. So we'll take this mounting foot here. The magnets will be facing toward the outside of the bar. We'll take the angled portions here. What I'll do here is I'm going to slide this into the bottom extrusion here, keeping some spacing on the nuts coming from the magnets. Then slide it in at a slight angle, pulling it toward me as I do so, and out to the very edge. You can see with that, it's a nice and clean mount. You don't do any scratches, no modifications to the base. And what's nice is, once it's slid into the channel, the unit can then be adjusted as appropriate. So for spacing on your roof, if you have a truck, SUV, or car that has slats on the roof, you can adjust your magnets so you won't have to worry about a magnet sitting in a wobble or off angle on a roof slat. So go ahead, pull this one out here. Take my second magnet mount. Again, I'll align the edges here. Sliding it out to the edge. The magnets then will be affixed into the base extrusion by tightening down the small threaded torque units here. So go ahead, give those a little tighten. And if you're curious as to what the red substance is here on the threads, it's the same thing as a Loctite. What it does is when you have this on the roof of your car, out exposed to the weather, it keeps your bolts from freezing together or getting grime in them that could cause rust. Or basically when you go to adjust this, loosen your magnets later, keeps your bolts from being seized together. So with those tightened down, you can see that I now have my magnetic mount kit affixed onto the 16-inch mini bar. Gives you a nice wide footprint, so you have good solid mounting onto your roof. But for folks that are wanting to do something a little different than magnets here, and also with magnets when you're putting it on your roof, removing it on a daily basis depending on the job, there's potential that you may have a bit of a slide or a wiggle, or setting it on your roof or pulling it off. The metal on metal contact could potentially cause you a bit of a scratch on your roof. And if you're anything like me or anybody at the office here, we hate to get scratches, dings, and dents of any kind if we can help it. So an alternative to magnet mounting here is going to be to use a suction vacuum mount. And I'll show you that here in just a moment. But first, I'm going to go ahead, get my magnetic mounts out of the way. So It's just a simple reverse of the process that I just showed you here. Go ahead and loosen these up. Adjust them at a slight angle so they remove nice and cleanly. Same thing with this side here. There you have it. Base is free and clean again. I'm going to go ahead, set these to the side. And as you can see, nice and strong 90-pound magnets. They love to hold nice and tight, even to each other. Set these to the side here. And I'll come back up and surprise you with a whole bunch of parts here that's going to be the magnet suction cup assembly. The kit itself comes as a pair. So you have a large 90-pound magnet, center mounted here, that's completely encapsulated in rubber. So with that, you don't have to worry about any kind of scratches, sliding, rubbing of any nature whatsoever. The kit itself is put together with a bit of hardware. I'll go ahead and show you how that'll go together for you. You have a pair of base mounts. And again, as you can see, the magnets in here, a lot of these parts like to hold together. Ends up being a bit fun when you're putting these together. I'll show you that here in a minute. Get some bags out of the way. Have a pair of nuts and bolts. We'll call it hardware. Go ahead and rip the hardware bags open. Gather up my little rolling around screws and pieces here. So in the kit, if we can have the camera zoom in, you'll get another set of Torx screws, again, that have a anti-seize or a thread lock on them. 2 sets of bolts and 2 metal washers to go along with those bolts. So to start the assembly process with my magnetic suction cup or suction vacuum kit, whichever name you want to call it, take my black mounting tabs here. Again, they're angled just like the magnetic mounts were, both on the top and the bottom. So go ahead, slide this in. And when you mount them, you're going to want to make sure that you're installing them so that they're pointed upward versus pointing downward. Again, slide this in here. Take the 4 small Torx screws. Snug them down here into the mounting feet. And again, the mounting feet are adjustable, so depending on how you want your spacing to be, you can adjust them in the bottom. Now that those are mounted on there, nice and snugly, take one of my magnet suction vacuum sets. You'll notice on these that there's a pair of tabs. The tabs are to help you when removing it from your roof. So I'll position my tabs facing outward here. You see there's a center hole, and that is what my washer and bolt will go through. That'll slide through like that. And in turn, the threaded portion here in the center will then hold the bolt itself. Get that one just hand tightened so it doesn't wiggle around on me. Again, take my second one here, tabs facing outward, drop the washer in, put the bolt through. Go ahead now, take a socket, and I can start snugging the bolts down. if when you're doing this yourself, if you notice something feeling a little weird, maybe the socket feels like it's grabbing a little bit or just kind of has a weird feel in your hand, remember you have a magnet in here. So the magnet is trying to grab the socket, like you can see here, when you're putting it in. No worries. It's easy enough to be more forceful with the socket than the magnet's forceful with yourself. We'll go ahead, keep tightening these down until the bolt head is nice and flush. Another tighten down on this side as well. We'll go ahead and flip it over here for you. You can see that with the vacuum suction kits, it's a nice, flat, flush mount. So again, it'll hold nice and tight on your roof when you're stopped on the side of the road conducting your job site business. Then when you're done, come up to it, grab the tabs here, give it a lift, and it'll come right off your roof. And again, your magnets are encoded in a nice heavy-duty rubber, no scratches, no roughing, nothing to worry about. You'll always have a nice, clean, paint, scratch-safe roof. Nice thing with the magnetic or the suction mount version, whichever one you may want to have on your bar, you get the awesome ability to simply plug it in to your 12-volt outlet, giving you the on and off and flash pattern controlling ability here. Go ahead, turn it on here quickly for you. See, it gives you a nice bright output with its forward-facing TIR style light heads. Nice off-axis visibility with its linear corner. And most importantly, no holes, no wires to run through the vehicle. Put it on the roof as appropriate. Take it off the roof when you're not needing it. Plug it in, unplug it, keep it in the back of your SUV, the trunk of the sedan, or on the back seat of the pickup truck. Anywhere you need it to be, it'll be there for you when it's a magnetic or a suction unit. Thanks for joining me on SIRENNET Television. I'm Chris. Back to you, Stuart.
Well, thanks a million, Chris. And as always, many thanks for watching SIRENNET Television. I'm Stuart.